Good morning, afternoon, evening from wherever you're watching. Welcome once again to the Mickey Masters, a channel dedicated to solely demystifying mathematics, making complex things easy. Alright, today we'll be looking at partial fractions. And when we talk about partial fractions, what do we mean? When algebraic fractions like this can be broken down into simpler parts, just like we have on the left hand side, into simpler parts. These simpler parts are known as partial fractions. So this is the compound fraction you have. If it can be split into simpler parts, the simpler part is known as partial fraction. Now, how do we solve a partial fraction or resolve an algebraic fraction into partial fraction? Now, you have a scenario like this: 10 minus 2x all over x minus 3x minus 1. Now, there is a method you can use. Since this denominator are linear expressions, that's this first one, as your x minus 3 is a linear expression, x minus 1. So you put x minus 3 in the first one, x minus 1. Now, the first thing to do, we use what we call the cover-up method. Set the value of x minus 3 to be equal to 0. Now, when you set the value of x minus 3 to be equal to 0, you solve for x. That means x will be 3. Now, what you do after you do that, put the value that you have gotten for x here into the second one. That will be 3 minus 1. You are left with 2. You put it in front. Now, the next thing, put that 3 also into this, into where you have x here in the numerator. That will be 2 times 3, that's 6. 10 minus 6, you are left with 4. That's the first part. Now, the second one, set this other linear expression to be equal to 0. So you will have x minus 1 equal to 0. X will be equals to 1. So impute the value of 1 into this place. That will be 1 minus 3. That will give us negative 2. Now, the next thing to do, impute that value of x that you got here into the numerator to get the value that you have here. That's 1. That's 10 minus 2 into bracket 1. That's 2 times 1. That's 2. 10 minus 2, you have 8. So the next thing, let's solve it. So this becomes 2 here 1, 2 here 2. That's 2 over x minus 3 minus 2 here 1, 2 here 4 minus 4 over x minus 1. So we have ended up splitting this algebraic expression into partial fractions. We have ended up splitting it. So this is the answer. This is how it came about. But instead of using the cover-up method, there are other methods you can also use to solve or to resolve partial fractions, algebraic fraction into partial fraction. We'll look at the second method, albeit longer, but we'll look at it. Let's examine the second method. Alright, let's look at the second method. That's 10 minus 2x over x minus 3, x minus 1. The same thing, x minus 3, x minus 1. Now, what do we do? Since this denominator is a linear expression, that means the value that will be up here will be a polynomial of order 1. So it's a linear expression, it's a polynomial with order 1. That means x, the greatest value of x here, the variable, is 1. Now, of the power of x is 1. So we represent the numerator by polynomial of degree 1, let's call it a, plus this one also is a linear expression. So we represent the numerator here by a polynomial also of degree 1. So the next thing to do, I haven't done this, is this is the left hand side of the equation, this is the right hand side. This is what we want to change them to, the partial fraction. So what do? We multiply each of the terms by the denominator here. That's x minus 3, x minus 1. So when you do that, we will be left with x minus 10 minus 2x, because x minus 3 and x minus 1 will cancel out. When I multiply this other term, a over x minus 3 by this, I'll be left with a over a times into brackets x minus 1, because x minus 3 will cancel x minus 3 up. Then plus, if I do the same thing, multiply b over x minus 1 by x minus 3 x minus 1, I'll be left with b into bracket x minus 3. Now let's expand this. When you expand it, a times x, you have ax, minus a times negative 1, you have negative a. B times x, you have plus bx. B times negative 3, we have negative 3b, equals to 10 minus 2x. Now simplify it, bring the x together where you have x, so you have ax plus bx minus a minus 3b equals to 10 minus 2x. Now factorize this. This is a plus b into bracket x minus a minus 3b equals to 10 minus 2x. Now equate the coefficient of x here is negative 2 in this left hand side of the equation. The coefficient of x here is a plus 1, so equate them. So we have a plus b, sorry, a plus b, not a plus 1, a plus b equals to negative 2. And we have a minus 3b minus a minus 3b equals to that's 10. Now we can use the elimination method. This is a simultaneous equation. We can use the elimination method. Let's add equation 1 to 2. This is equation 1, equation 2. When we add it together, a plus negative a, it goes off. So b plus negative 3b, we are left with negative 2b equals to negative 2 plus 10, we are left with what? 8. Now the next thing to do, divide both sides by negative 2. So when we divide both sides by negative 2, we have b equals to negative 4. Now substitute the value of b into any of the equation. It could be equation 1, it could be equation 2. Let's take equation 1. So it becomes a plus, open bracket, negative 4 equals to negative 2. That's negative times positive, it becomes negative. So a minus 4 equals to minus 2, negative 2. So it becomes a, add 4 to both sides, it becomes a equals to negative 2 plus 4. So our a equals to 2. So having gotten a to be 2 and b to be negative 4, impute it into this place. So this becomes, our partial fraction will be equals to, that's 10 minus 2x over x minus 3 into bracket x minus 1 will be equals to, what's our a? 2. So that will be 2 over x minus 3. Then what's our b? Negative 4. The negative here will cancel this positive sign here. Negative 4 over x minus 1. I hope you have enjoyed today's class. This is a brief introduction into partial fraction. Today we have examined partial fraction in which the denominator are linear expressions. In our next class, we'll delve into other partial fractions. If you are yet to subscribe, please subscribe, hit the subscribe button. And if you have any question, put it in the comment section. And we'll see you in the next class. Remain blessed. Shalom.